There's two, I guess, main reasons why AGL Bardock is not as good as he should be. I'm going to explain these, and then I'm going to show you what they should have done instead. Now, since this is a rant, I'm not really in the mood to catch you lacking today, so we're literally like 3-4 subscribers away from 61.1. If you want to make that possible, thank you. If you don't want to do it today, don't worry. Sit back, relax, grab some snacks. Shout out to Corey. Let's hop into the video. So, AGL Bardock. The main issue that I at least have with him is number one, when he transforms into Super Saiyan, his kit no longer requires any low-class warriors to become stronger or to gain extra buffs. But when he's in his base form, he still requires low-class warriors to do these extra things. So imagine you bringing a low-class warrior team to make base Bardock look good, but when he transforms, now this character is going to be the strongest character on the category, but the rest of your team sucks because the rest of your team, no one has any use anymore. Now, of course, there's good characters on this team, like what, 1 or 2. I mean, the banner unit Tora is not bad. Obviously, Ultraman Goku's really good, but it's like he should still be gaining buffs from having low-class warriors on the team because it at least makes these characters more useful and gives Bardock the ability to be better. When you require a bad category of characters for a character to be good in base and then they transform and you no longer have those requirements, it's like the rest of the team, it just becomes a one-man team because you had to bring bad category characters to make one unit look good. Now he transforms to become even better and now he doesn't need these characters anymore. Imagine how good Bardock could be if he gained additional buffs for having low-class warriors on the team. It would make the entire team flow a lot better, right? Now, that's number one. Number two, the main, I guess, again, another issue with Bardock that I personally have is Bardock himself, like being limited to low-class warrior and wicked bloodline is not it. He leads both revenge and low-class warrior. So at minimum, in this guy's kit, whenever you see, low-class warrior, you should also include revenge. So, all this stuff per low-class warrior or revenge category ally on the team. Because low-class warrior is this, but revenge is this. Now you get some of the Brolys, Golden Frieza, Piccolo, Future Trunks. Like the team just even though this isn't the greatest roster of characters, the team just becomes infinitely better. Because now you can put Bardock on surround Bardock with better characters overall and make a better team overall to where he's not dependent on bums. Let's be real, right? Let's be real, okay? So again, being limited to only one category for these buffs is one reason why I think he's really bad. Base, he's a fraud, right? When he transforms, he's not bad at all. He could reach some pretty high ceilings, but I think if we're going to compare the quality of this EZA to Anniversary EZAs, he's nowhere near, unfortunately. So this is what I would have done for Bardock. Let me know if you disagree or agree with what I'm about to show you. This is what I would have done for his base EZA, okay? We can just, compare here. So base EZA, I would have kept this the same. Attack, blah, 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 the same. Reduces damage to by 30%. Yeah, so he didn't have that. All of his damage reduction comes from having low-class warrior category allies on the team up to 50%, right? So if you're not running low-class warrior, this guy is he's gonna get one shot. Bardock here has a base of the EZA that I gave him, quote unquote, is a 30% damage reduction in base. Then he gets an additional 30% to attack up to 150 instead of the 20 up to 100. 30% up to 150. Which is basically rewarding you more for bringing low-class warriors on the team because he needs it, and reduces damage received by 6% up to 30% per low-class warrior or revenge category ally on the team. So if you bring one or the other, up to 30% extra damage reduction and 150% to attack, you are now going to be gaining a total 60% damage reduction, 30% in base. So total 60%. And an extra, 50% attack compared to this. That is already so much better than this here. Because not only is the damage reduction, you know, not limited to only one category anymore, but all of his damage reduction is dependent on that. Whereas he has damage reduction in base. So, for example, if you are not, you know, running, let's say you're running on like a Super Saiyan's team, you're not going to be able to get that extra attack maybe, or damage reduction, but he's still going to have base damage reduction in his kit. This is just a better way to build him. Then he gets attack plus 50% and attacks effective against all types when there's a Wicked Bloodline category enemy, or when all allies on the team are Revenge or low class warrior category allies. So before, it wasn't that. It was literally attack plus 50% and attacks effective against all types when there's a Wicked Bloodline category enemy. I wanted to increase that. I could have added another category to this, but facing specific category enemies are annoying. So instead of that, I would do, you can leave that in, but you can also obtain the 50% to attack and effective against all types if you have a full team of Revenge or low class warrior category allies. Again, rewarding you for bringing mid here. And again, like, physical Turles is not bad. You know, this Goku's still really good. So you have good units here. It's just compared to how strong these bosses are now, you need access to better characters. And then I left all this the same here. And then this is, well, actually, did I? High chance. Yeah, I left that the same. Yeah. This is what I would have done for his Super Saiyan form. Let's go ahead and change Super Saiyan form here. So Bardock in Super Saiyan form currently gets 18% damage reduction, which is just not enough. I understand that he is greatly stacking defense here. You know, in base, but he needs a little bit higher damage reduction. Launch additional attack. Let me just show you what I changed, okay? So in terms of his Easy 8 state, I increased this to 30%. So 30% in base, I think is very fair. This character before Easy A would have gotten up to 60%, which I think is 60% on this character here. I think is a little high. A little bit too high because of the greatly stacking defense and base, right? So I understand that. That's why I lowered it just to 30%. Launch an additional attack, which has a great chance to become a super attack. I left it the same. Attack plus 100% when attack, left it the same. Medium chance of performing a critical hit and evading enemies' attack, including super attack. We left that the same. This is where I started changing stuff up. Defense plus 12% up to 60%. Chance of performing a critical hit and evading enemies' attack plus 6% up to 30% per low class warrior or revenge category ally on the team. The reason why I did this is twofold. A, it would be nice to see him get extra defense, basically be rewarded for bringing these category characters on the team. And B, if you look down here, he gets an extra 18% to crit rate as well as, you know, dodge, only for 5 turns. Now, that's cool and all, but after 5 turns, relying on a 30% chance to dodge, in my opinion, and 30% chance to crit is just not good. So if you're going to bring these category characters on the team, you might as well be rewarded for it. And if you do, you're gonna get an extra 60% to defense, and then an extra 30% to crit, as well as dodge. So theoretically, in total, you'll have a 60% chance to dodge and a 60% chance to crit. Not really how, you know, the math works, but you get the point, right? 2 different procs of 30% to dodge and 2 different procs of 30% chance to crit, which is obviously a lot better than just having 1 chance to do both, right? And then, so again, the next part of his passive here is the same, the 3 key, 18% chance to crit and damage reduction and dodge for 5 turns. We left that the same, because 18% damage reduction on top of 30 is 48. Basically 50% damage reduction is what he gets, but 18% of that is for 5 turns only. So that's why I felt comfortable leaving that alone. And then launches an additional super attack, and all attacks become critical hits when there's a Wicked Bloodline or Planetary Destruction category enemy. Frieza is perfect for the Planetary Destruction category, so that's why I added that. And also, the bosses you're going to be facing and the bosses that you could activate this on are literally tens of times more than just facing Friezas and Coolers, right? Now you can activate it against Broly, against Saiyan Saga Vegeta, against Cell, against Cooler, against Turles, against Broly. Like, if there is a version of this Gohan as a boss, Master Roshi as a boss, Piccolo as a boss, Hyrudegarn, like, you're going to be able to see this so much more often compared to just Friezas and Coolers and Lord Chills, for that matter, you know? So overall, I think this passive right here would not break the game for what the character can do, but it would make him so much more flexible. You allow better team building, you allow a wider range of characters to face to just be better. I think this would have been, you know, a pretty good Easy A. Actually, very good Easy A is what I would consider him if this is the way they chose to work him. Being limited to just one category to do things and facing only one category. Like, I get this is the Bardock versus Chilled special thing. I get why it's limited to this. I understand that. But at the end of the day, the only reason why he's here is because Frieza clapped him, right? So Planetary Destruction should be in this passive. If he's going to lead Revenge, Revenge should also be as one of the restrictions instead of just Low Class Warrior. It should be both. And when you do that, you open up your windows again to a great array of characters, and it just makes Bardock that much better. I mean, honestly, I could have done or added a low-class warrior damage reduction support, excluding Bardock. That's actually what I could have done. I could have added something here that says, you know, Revenge category allies, Revenge or low-class warrior category allies, you know, attack plus 30% and reduces damage received by 10%, excluding this AGL Bardock. That means that when you include all of these low-class warriors, they're all going to get an extra attack buff and damage reduction buff. So World Tournament pick Goku would be looking really good. Tech Bardock surprisingly would look pretty good. Physical Turles, physical Raditz, I mean, he's trash regardless. And then physical Goku, like, it would just make the team. And dude, imagine with his damage reduction, like, that would have been a really cool team in my opinion. So I don't know, let me know what you think. Hopefully you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Take care and peace.